The views and opinions of this broadcast do not reflect the views and opinions of Armed Media, New Productions and its affiliates. Enjoy the show.
I'm a big fish in a small pond. Got my days free and the nights long. I create my own reality. Who I am is fine with me. As famous as I wanna be. Who I am is fine with me. It's who I am. It's who I am. Who I am is fine with me.
Oh my goodness. Here we are. Hi everybody. It's Maria from What's the Story with Maria. How's it going? I want to welcome you all to our show. We meet here every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern, 9 to 10 Eastern. And we go live. Normally we go live on Armed Radio. Tonight we are not going live on Armed Radio, but we are going live on Facebook, on the What's the Story with Maria page, on my personal page. And if you want to share this to your pages, so our guest or anybody else want to share it to your pages or just share it with your friends, please feel free to do that. And Armed Radio is going to take our show after the show and put it into podcast, which they normally do, which is great. But Jimmy, our engineer and producer, is working on another project tonight that he had to do. So we are very happy for him, but he is going to take care of us after the show and put our show into podcast. So I'm excited about that. Okay, so I always check. I have my phone to go through my page. So if your comments come up, I can see them. And I do want to shout out to my friend, my sweet, sweet friend and accidental intern, accidental stage manager, my buddy in Idlewild, California, Leo Rodriguez. There he is. Leo, look at you. You're very David Lynch.
I'm in the shadow.
In the shadow. We might have to write a song about you in the shadow.
It's called Podcast Noir.
I love it. So, Leo, I want to thank you ahead of time because I know that there's a lot of stuff a lot of information that you get, and then you make sure that it goes live on our pages, and I cannot say enough thank yous to you. So one of the things that I really do want to shout out, tonight we have two amazing, they're friends of mine. They've been friends of mine for a long time. But they're both, one of the reasons I love them so much, not just because they're amazing drummers, but because they're amazing dads. And to me, there is no greater gift than a really good parent. No greater gift. And when I spot a really amazing parent, I always want to, give them a shout out. Now, I do this week, we usually try to stay in a happy mood, but this week I do want to send out our heartfelt love to our friend Chris DePiero, who's amazing dad. Say Hey Joe DePiero passed away. He was I went to his service and it was so amazing. He was a cop for years and years and years. And then he was a little league coach. And it was so amazing to see all these people that showed up, all these law enforcement people, and so many of them that were like my age were saying, wow, your dad changed my life. You have no idea what your dad did for me. And he was the president of the Little League, baseball Little League out in West New York, New Jersey. So I shout out to Chris DePiero and his amazing dad, Joe, because really, when we have an amazing parent, our whole lives are different. And also my friend Kat Salvio and Janet Salvio, their mom, who was a great friend of mine, Ann Salvio, passed away this week. Just a sweet, sweet person that reminded me a lot of my own mom. So, these are really good people. They live amazing lives, and their legacy is one of kindness. And we should never, ever forget that. that of all the things you do in your life, when you're kind to other people and you pass on your love and your passion for things, that it changes your kids, and in turn, your kids change the world as well as you. So I just wanted to send out that to Chris and Kat. My cousin, Rena Crinali-Berge, who I adore, our family project manager, has joined us. Rena, how are you, my love? I will be coming to Massachusetts soon. I do want to shout out something that I'm doing. I'm very proud of. My friend Bethany Vaughn, who was on our show and has been my friend for, 36 years, maybe. We did a lot of theater together in the North Shore of Boston, out in Danvers and that way. We've come together again. We have reunited, and Bethany is producing some amazing shows out on the North Shore. It's called New Dawn Productions, and we are going to be out there. We don't have actually, we do have specific dates, but I'm not going to put them out yet until it gets closer. But we're going to be on the North Shore of Massachusetts in July, maybe August, July for sure, possibly August, November, and December. We're going to do some Christmas shows. So I'll be letting you guys know about that a little more as we get closer. Okay, so this month was Mother's Day, right? May is Mother's Day. And then June coming right up, of course, we have Father's Day, which is always a big one. Thank you, Rena. You know I love you to pieces. Father's Day is coming up. And I just want to say, I've watched both these guys that are my friends that are amazing musicians. And I gush when they talk about their kids. It's just amazing how much love I feel for them. And they talk about their kids. They post about their kids' successes. And they're also like such accomplished musicians themselves, but they have passed on their love of music to their children. So we're celebrating that tonight. We're celebrating great parents and what they pass on to us. And so, Leo.
Yes.
My love, my sidekick, I don't know where I would be without the Chewy to my Chelsea handler. Leo Rodriguez. Everybody roll your R's when you say that. Okay, so Liz Goldenberg is watching us. Hi, Liz Goldenberg. How are you? Good to see you. Okay, Rena is with us. So, do we have our first guest?
We do, but I wondered if you wanted to remind everybody that you do have a website.
You know what? That's why I love and need you. So, yes, thank you, Leo Rodriguez. I do have a website that I'm very proud of that was originally created by Billy Malcolm and now is being maintained and created more. And he's always adding to it. Leo is adding to the website. So shout out to Billy Malcolm and Leo Rodriguez for doing that. And yes, I do have a website. It's mariagentili.com, which is easy to remember. And all the stuff that I have going on is always up there. You can find my albums, listen to them, download the song. If you want physical copies of the album, I also have those and I can mail them out to you. So that's all that. Plus, I do sell skincare. I know it sounds crazy, but I'm in sales, baby. I sell Rodan and Fields skincare, and now that our masks are coming off, folks, it's time to get your skin back in charge. So I want to shout out Leo for doing that. Thank you. Yeah, go and check out my website. All my songs are on it. My skincare line is on it. Our show is on it. I also want to shout out Leo for putting up a What's the Story with Maria YouTube page. So if you miss our show, which often people do because they're busy at work or whatever they're doing, you can go back to What's the Story with Maria on YouTube, and all 196 episodes Leo has personally uploaded. And gigantic round of applause for Leo. And so you can find any of our shows. Go ahead, Leo. What are we going to say?
Gigantic applause for you. This is show 197.
197. Rena, can you believe that?
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness is right. So I don't know what I'm going to do with show 200. I mean, I'm trying to. Leo, we'll have to brainstorm. We might have to bring back people that we had on the show before. But or maybe I'll go to Massachusetts. Rena, I don't know.
Oh, that crazy family over there.
You know, I love my crazy family.
What was that episode? Was that episode like 71? My big loud Italian family.
My big loud Italian family. I don't know, but there were 2 shows at Rena's and 1 show's at my cousin Marisa Raskowski's, Christmas at the Raskowski's. Those are 3 of the best shows ever. Now I want to shout out to Bets Lee. Bets is a friend of Bobby Ken, who's a friend of mine. She lives in Nashville, and she is talking about Bobby's kids right now. She's typing about them. So yeah, no, I know, Beth. I hate autocorrect too, but I knew what you meant. I knew you meant Merrill. All right, so
we have both of our wonderful guests in the green room. I think we put out champagne and cheese and crackers in the green room for every guest.
My God, who doesn't love cheese and crackers? I love
that.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So do we want to bring Willie on first?
Ta-da!
There he is, my friend Willie Martinez. How are you, honey?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, sweetheart. Thank you for being available to be on the show.
Yeah. I'm very happy to be here. I was so excited when you reached out to me.
Yes, I watch you do all those live jazz shows in the streets of Brooklyn, which I love. And even if I don't catch it live, I go back and listen to it, and it's just like so soothing. And you did it all through the pandemic, which was like so helpful for the rest of us that were freaking out, and that are musicians or weren't musicians. And so I want to thank you for that. And I know that the things are starting back up. So let's start. I know you do a lot of different things. Let's start with your website. It's williemartinez.com.
Yeah. Right now I'm in the process of retooling it. But so right now it's basically a portal to subscribe to my newsletter.
Okay.
Which, and then I keep people abreast of my goings on with that. And then it also promotes my my Sunday series, which, as you mentioned, I did for 25 weeks last year.
Oh, my God. Yeah, that's half a year.
Yeah,
and
June
they were
7th,
outside, right, Willie? They're all outside.
Right in front of my place on President Street. Yep.
Which I love. I love that part of Brooklyn so much. So tell me about how that started. Were these guys that you play with normally, or were how did you pull that group together? And tell me how that experience worked out.
Well, let me start by saying that 3 months, Cuomo shut down the situation on March 20th, I believe it was, and by late April, I was collaborating with a few musicians, experimenting with software that would allow us to jam virtually. And it was a nightmare.
Yeah.
Kind of latency and stuff like that. So that wasn't working out. And in late May, some friends of mine, Nikki Denner and Anton Denner, who are a wonderful couple. They've been on my series several times. She's a pianist and he's a reed player. They invited me to their home in New Jersey. They live on a lake, and they had a nice big backyard. And so they invited me to a jam session over their house. And when I went there and played with live human beings for the first time in 3 months, I said, "This is what it has to be." And I said, "I have to figure out some way to bring this to Brooklyn." And so the following Sunday, I asked Nikki and bass player Melissa Slocum to join me in front of my house, and we just played. And the people that gathered was insane. It was insane. People were like, the whole block was filled. And then what I call the love bucket was literally overflowing. And so I decided to keep on doing it. And then around week 3 or week 4, the Jazz Foundation of America contacted me, my good friend Will Glass, and he said, "Willie, this thing that you're doing is unbelievable. The Jazz Foundation wants to support you." So like 3 weeks into it, I already had some minor underwriting. And they're on board again this year. I rebooted about a month ago.
Yep, I saw that, and that's one of the reasons that I reached out to you, because you're a wonderful person and you're a great friend, and but I'm a huge fan of yours as well, Willie. I'm a big fan of what you do. I love every time you post. I love when you do all that Latin jazz. I love when you do, whatever, just straight jazz. I'm really tuned in because you have such a love for it. But what I do love about you so much is that you're very inclusive. I love what you do for other musicians. So one question I want to ask you, did anybody complain about the noise?
No.
Okay, incredible.
No, people stop me, like, even like in the middle of the week, my neighbors will stop me and say, "Wow, thank you. Last Sunday was amazing. Thank you." And they're totally into it. And my neighbors are amazing. They're really, really super amazing.
Yeah, I just wonderful. And Leo, do you have an image of that at all, of the Sunday series? That I don't know if I maybe I should have sent you one, but if anybody, so how do they find the Sunday series, Willie?
I live Facebook stream on Sundays at 2 p.m. on my page, my timeline. And then what I've just started doing is archiving the series on my YouTube channel. So I have a YouTube channel now, I just started archiving them there. So there are 2 up right now, and then I'm going to start ripping them out of Facebook and uploading them to YouTube.
Okay, great.
And so that it'll be a true channel.
Yeah.
And every week I'm going to put the new concert.
Here it is. Thank you, Leo.
Thank you, Leo.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Sunday Afternoon Jazz.
I love it.
This
I
is,
just love it.
The third of our season, but it's the first one that's going to be winding up on.
Wonderful.
That's Nikki Denner there in the background, and she's a very dear friend, very talented musician.
Yeah.
And to answer your earlier question, every week it's a different group. I put
Oh, okay.
every week, and they are all just personal friends of mine. Who, I have a ton of musical friends that happen to be some of the most stellar musicians on the planet. So I'm very blessed.
Yeah. Well, that's what it is. If you stay in this business long enough and you love what you do and you have a passion for it, you're going to attract like-minded people, and they're going to be talented,
Yeah.
And we're in the center of the universe, Willie. I mean, I know you'll agree as a New Yorker. And there's so much talent here, even during the pandemic. Now, let me ask you, did any of your musician friends move away that you know of?
Yeah. A lot of them are not originally from New York, so they made their way back to their original hometown. Some came back, some didn't. It's that's an interesting, phenomenon of folks that chose to move out of New York City. Some of them are living nearby and waiting for things to pick up again a little bit more, and then they'll make their way back. Especially the friends of mine that are in the Broadway scene.
Yes,
a lot of them have moved away because it didn't make any sense for them to be here.
Right. There's no work for them here, and whatever. A lot of them wanted to save on their rents because the rent in New York, as everybody knows, is through the roof.
Correct.
Although it's getting better.
Yeah,
it's better because people have moved away and landlords need to fill those spots. So, folks, if you're out there and you're thinking about moving back to New York, now's the time. Now is the time. So, Willie, would you say that the clubs are starting to, reach out at all? I know, like the clubs that I work in, they're starting to open up.
Yeah. About a month ago, my good friend Frank London asked me to join him with a quartet at Minton's Playhouse, which is a famous jazz room up in the Harlem.
Oh, wow.
And that was my first indoor gig in front of an audience in 13 years. And there were about 15 or 20 patrons there. And it was a wonderful, wonderful night. Even with that small group, that would be considered like kind of a failure on any given night. But actually, it was a great success because we were all feeling excited to be in that circle of energy between the audience and the musicians. Now, this past Friday, I played at Don't Tell Mama.
Which is, a lot of my friends work there.
I know. I know you probably would have a ton of friends that are connected with that whole scene.
Yeah. How was that?
That was sold out.
Wow.
And if you know Don't Tell Mama, how their 2 rooms are laid out.
Yeah.
They just like jam packed them with tables. So even at 50% capacity,
right,
it felt like playing to a full room.
That's wonderful.
It was super exciting. I mean, the energy was insane.
Yes, that is so great, Willie. Yeah, when I saw that picture you posted, I thought, how cool is that? Yeah, everything's. I'm working at Stonewall. I'm working at Brandy's again. The duplex is opening up in June, which is really
cool. Wow, cool.
Yeah, so that's why I asked, because I know that, and like you said, we still have to worry about some capacity, but I know that they're lifting curfews in June, because we've had a limited time, but that's going to be great for all of us. And I feel like it's going to be an amazing summer.
Yeah, me too. Me too. People are just itching, and especially with the CC announcement about mask wearing and stuff like that, as long as you're vaccinated.
Yeah.
And I think Cuomo's going to have a big speech tomorrow. He has a big press conference tomorrow, probably discussing further easing of restrictions and such. So I think it's going to be a great summer. I think people cannot wait to get out there and re-engage.
Are you going to continue your Sunday series?
Yeah.
I think you should.
I mean, I'm getting calls for gigs, which I'm happy about. But this Sunday thing turned into a beautiful thing, and it allows me to curate. As you can imagine, during the pandemic, I had no structure in my life. I didn't have anything to do.
I can totally imagine. I completely get it. I had the same thing.
Curating the series is giving me something to do.
Yeah.
And then it's just nice to, especially early on in the pandemic, musicians were like, the early musicians that participated in the series, they were like, man, this is like an oasis. This is this is amazing. And they couldn't believe how beautiful the block was, how respectful the neighbors were, how everybody was so hip. And it's like a real audience. They know when to clap. They know what, it's like they're awesome. And so they were like, the musicians were just as appreciative as the audience members, that they had a place to play. And now I'm getting calls from from friends that I'll get a text every other day. Hey man, I just want to let you know I'm around for your series if you need me. And I'm like, yeah, you got all right. You're in. Yeah, I'm going to be there all summer and I'm going to go way into the fall. Last year, we went from June 7th into the first week of November.
Wow.
So
yeah, I know. We were at Brandy's. We were singing outside, Willie. So I thought of you. And that's in the winter, in the dead of winter. We were still outside until the neighbors. That's why I asked you about the neighbors. Until the neighbors, not the neighbors, one neighbor was calling the police over and over and over again. And they were nice. They would show up and say, "Hey guys, there's nothing we can do. We have to follow through on this complaint."
Yeah.
So eventually, we had to come inside. But now we're inside. We're at 75% capacity, and things are great. So, if you have time, Willie, can you hang out backstage? I'm going to bring Bobby in and then I'll bring you back in. Okay. So hang out for a little while. I'll bring Bobby Kent in and then I want to bring you back in and we'll talk about how you've influenced your kids and how wonderful, because I know you both have amazing kids.
Yeah. Bobby. Wow. I love Bobby's stories about his children. They're amazing.
I know. And yours too. So that's one of the reasons. And I know you're friends. So we're going to bring Bobby on. We'll put you in the green room and then bring you back. On in a few minutes, okay?
That's awesome. I'll be here.
All right, sweetheart, hang in there. Willie Martinez, everybody. Yay. Willie's great. I want to shout out to my friend, Brendan Ryan, Sergeant Brendan Ryan. I love you. Handsome Irish devil as he is, plays the bagpipes. Hey, Brendan, maybe sometime you can come on the show. Now, Eudania Mesa, hi, honey, is saying, hey, Willie Martinez played the drums. Judy Mesa had a show of her own. And then she also had did a benefit last year, 2 years ago. And Willie was the drummer for that. So that was really great. Okay. So, oh my God, Willie and Bobby. Two great guys. Leo, do we have Bobby Kent in the wings? Yes, 2 shows. Honey, that's right. Bobby Kent. Now, Bobby told me earlier, because he was in the green room and then he popped on earlier, that he has been ready all day. He's been ready for this. Is that ready, Bobby?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
We met in Tony and Tina's wedding. Do you believe, Bobby? You're not going to believe this. Do you know how long ago that was?
I actually do. It was. I got the show in '89.
And I got
so you got
91.
there in 91, yeah.
So that's 30 years, Bobby. 30 years
I know.
ago, we met each other, and we started working together. So just incredible. Now you were a drummer in New York. You played a lot. You used to play the gig at Tony and Tina's wedding, and I always cracked up because you would keep the beat, but you always did a little fast because you always had a gig afterwards, right?
I remember that, yeah.
Yeah, of course I remember that.
Everybody remembers that. Yeah. Thank God for Facebook because we can stay in touch with each other. So,
I know.
We never forget it.
Now you moved to Nashville. What year?
I moved to Nashville officially in '99, but in '98 I started taking trips down here, and I was still doing Tony and Tina's wedding. God bless them. They let me sub out, and I was going back and forth. And then finally I decided, all right, I better go. And Willie, of all people, and Anthony Mora, who lives here too, they built my drums.
Wow. Yeah. That's really, really cool. That's a great story. I didn't know that.
Yeah, the funny story was I went up to the shop to pick them up in my Honda Civic, and if they had put T-rods on the bass drum, I wouldn't have been able to fit them in the car. Willie knows exactly what I'm talking about. But yeah, those were like the last guys that I saw.
I remember. Oh, so that's it. You got your drums and you drove to Nashville.
Pretty much.
Wow. Mm-hmm. And you started playing because I remember I was in Nashville. I was there for a wedding and I visited you.
And 2000, I just bought a new car.
Okay, and you were gigging, quite a bit down there. And I know you do a lot of different things, but so what I want to ask you is how has COVID and the clubs closing and the churches closing and all that, how has it affected you as a musician? And is it starting back up?
Yes, it's starting back up. And the way it affected me was I was working in some, local clubs. There's a lot of songwriters here. And so there were some places to play. And, I would do the early gigs because I go to bed early. But I was doing some stuff and they did close. And Lower Broadway closed. I don't work down there. I hadn't worked down there in years, and I didn't work down there that much anyway. It's a whole different scene.
Yeah.
But they're totally open now. And so all the guys are going back to work and the girls. So things are getting back to, tons of tourists and all of that. But my other gig, I'm also an addictions counselor. And so I was playing in a big band when I first moved to town. That lasted like a decade. And then I started to work in the treatment center in '99 with adolescents. And so one thing led to another. So I kind of work with a lot of musicians now who are trying to get back on the road.
Wow.
And, may or may not have had some problems over the year, this past year, because they weren't working.
Well, that's what it is, and when speaking of addiction, not to go down that road, but it's an important subject. I think that they said that alcohol consumption this year while people were home was up by 68%. Mm-hmm. That's a crazy amount. Like alcohol sales went through the roof. So people that are used to being out all the time, being productive, being creative, or just going to work in general, were at home. And they had a lot more time by themselves to do nothing. Yeah. So I can imagine that. And now as people are trying to get back to their lives, that it's very helpful to have the programs that they need.
Yeah, and the road tours are starting. So a lot of guys, and girls are getting back on the bus.
Yeah.
And so some of those tours they're not all up and running yet because they have to be planned so far ahead.
Right.
But, because, Tennessee was kind of slow on the vaccines, but the artists and musicians weren't. And so,
right.
So
that's really
they're ready to go back to work. Whatever their politics were, everybody I know got vaccinated because they want to go back to work.
Well, that's what it is. And one of the things that's happening in New York that they're saying, I do want to shout out Catherine Salvio has joined us. Hi, Kat. We were hanging out today at the beautiful Tavern on the Green. Bobby, you remember Tavern on the Green?
I do.
Oh, I'd never been there in my life. And Catherine.
I played there all the time.
Oh, it's a beautiful room. Catherine had a service there for her mom. It was really beautiful. And we're happy to be there. So nice day, Catherine. Thank you. So being on tour, now, as you said, these friends of yours that are musicians that are out of Nashville are going back on tour. I know that there are theaters that are opening back up venues. And I do see stretches of time ahead. They go into 2022. But I'm sure everybody's delighted to get back there. And I love what you said about the vaccines because it's super important. Whoever is listening to this, the fastest way to get us back out there is just get vaccinated. The more people vaccinated, the quicker we get out there. Because now in New York, they're going to start requiring that you have your vaccination card on you or on your phone. So just to get it that way, because those of us that are vaccinated want to hang out, we want to sing, we want to play. And it's like if people aren't, they're just slowing the rest down. So whatever you're thinking, put it aside, go and get your vaccine. It's free and it's great. And you're going to feel so ready to get back into the world.
It's starting to happen down here. Like I said, the smart people got vaccinated. You know.
Oh, our friend Christopher Crosby said, second shot tomorrow. Wish me luck. Yes, Christopher, you're going to love it. I think you're in Jersey, and they have great facilities out there. The second shot knocks you on your butt a little bit. I will say, just have a little Tylenol and just figure you're going to sleep the day away. Mm-hmm. Give yourself 24 hours. But after that, it's great. And you feel like $1 million.
Well, I got COVID. I had COVID in November, and then I got vaccinated in January. And the second shot did feel familiar, but I knew I was going to be okay.
Now, Bobby, that's right. You did have COVID, and you had, which was awful. Would you say? I mean, you did everything that you were asked to do, right? Right, you were super cool, but you kind of not everybody was doing the right thing. So, yeah, we don't want to get into that.
No, I know. Yeah,
it helps. Yeah. So what we're trying to say is, everybody, whatever your politics are, when it comes to the vaccine, just put it aside, get your shot, and let's move on, because it's going to help everybody get back into. We all want to hear music again. We all want to go to the theater. And they're saying in New York that theaters are opening up in September, Broadway shows. So we're super excited about that. Keisha Soto has joined us. That's okay. Go ahead, honey.
We get the tours down here from Broadway. We get they play T-Pack, and so T-Pack wants to get open so that they can get all the tours back.
Right.
You know? And it's pretty high up tour too. I think it might be the first level road tour that we get.
Now, Bobby, how close is Dollywood to you? I think that's Region 4. Is that close to you at all?
No, I've been there. We've taken the kids there, but it's not all that close. But I don't know if they're up and running. They should be soon.
They should be soon, and I'm hoping. I know a lot of people that work down there, actually.
Well, she told everybody to wear a mask. I can tell you that, and she got.
Yeah, she's amazing.
She was one of the first people to get vaccinated,
and she also donated millions of dollars to vaccines, and a lot of them have gone to musicians. So God bless Dolly Parton and all those great people. Now, one of the things that I do want to talk about, and we're going to bring Willie back really soon, because I want both of you to. One of the things that I love about both you guys is that you have passed on this great gift of music to your kids. And so, what's happening, there they are. There are your daughters.
Wearing masks.
Good for them.
Hey, Leo, how did Leo get into my phone? That's like pretty cool, actually.
I'm telling you, he really knows what
I didn't even send him that picture. No, it's great. Oh, he's on my Facebook, probably.
Now, so fill us in a little bit of what your kids are doing, because your kids are amazing.
Well, okay. Bella is 18, almost 19, and Marinika is 13, almost 14. And about 10 years ago, or even I think 11 years ago, their mom, who's also perfectly great and was able to access these programs, we got into the theater bug. And it's a local kids theater company. And Marinika got in there, I think she was like 4. And she was 4, you said? She was like 4 years old when she did her first show there, maybe 5. And then Bella got in there, and Corey Lammel, who is the theater director, she writes her own stuff. And so she had a lot of stuff about inclusion and special needs and all of that. And it's a typical production company, but they got Bella in some shows. And so Bella and Mero were in a lot of shows together. And all these posters, wait a minute, let me move my head. All these posters behind me are their posters. They're not mine.
Oh my God.
There's nothing to do with anything I did. And so, yeah, duck. So they just fell into that, and Bella. I mean, both of them. It was a natural transition, and then from there they got piano lessons, guitar lessons, and they've been doing music.
Both of your kids are very musical. Mm-hmm. They sing, they play instruments, they're in theater, but when they were little, they know that you were going to gigs. They know you're a drummer. You also play the mandolin. I know that about you.
Yeah, I'm kind of giving that up, but yeah.
Yeah, but I know that. You do that
a little bit.
So, what was that like as a dad? Did they ask you questions when they were little about what you were doing or where you were going? Did they get to see you perform a lot? Or
they did. They not a lot. They didn't come to the bars, but they came to a couple of things. There's a picture somewhere of Bella helping me load my drums into a big band gig down at the factory. We were doing some benefit. Down there, and they've always been around it. I'll tell you, the big band, Paul Ross Orchestra, I would do the big band concerts every summer in Centennial Park, and the kids would always come to that.
Right.
And so, yeah.
And what would they say on the rides home? Would they say anything?
They fell asleep.
But they must. I mean, yeah. I think that's so cool to have.
No, they were pretty amazed. But what I was able to do, we've had some great music teachers over the years, and Musical Bridges is something that was helping Bella, and then Mero got in on that. And also Girls Write Nashville, which is a mentor program that Mero got involved with.
Yes, I want to stop you right there. Yeah. So the Bridges, Bella is involved, Musical Bridges. Mm-hmm. These are, yes, Kenny Holcomb, our friend who is in Nashville, by the way, an amazing singer. Yes, Bobby is in Nashville, Kenny. So you guys would get along great. Kenny Holcomb, who's a great friend of Susie Campanero's as well.
I've seen him pop up.
Yeah, he's a cool guy. And so Musical Bridges, and also Mero works with Girls Write Nashville. Mm-hmm. And tell us a little bit about Girls Write Nashville. What is that? That's impressive. I've gone to that website.
Girls Write Nashville is a mentor program. It was put together by two wonderful women. I think they met at Berkeley, if I'm not mistaken. But they encourage the girls. Each girl mentors with a professional from Nashville, and professional singer, songwriter, musician, and so they work on their own songs, but they do it with a mentor, and then they put a CD together. And I think Mero's been on 3 or 4 CDs now. And that group, what is amazing about them. And they meet with professional musicians, and it's all on a professional level. And we've been in it, I guess, about three years now, maybe a little more. But they were forced to be virtual smack in the middle of March of last year, and they were able to hang in there. And as a matter of fact, Mero had a session last night because the season is ending, and they're trying to get songs done and recorded. But Mero was able to learn band lab and all this other stuff from home because she had to do everything from home.
Right.
And Musical Bridges as well was able to survive COVID.
That's really cool.
Content.
That is really cool. I know Bella just graduated high school, right?
She did on Sunday.
Wow. Congratulations, Bella.
And actually what happened then was her concert was going on at the same time, so we had to videotape her stuff, and they did the concert while she was graduating high school.
Wow.
So
that is so great.
She was so she was live and also on Zoom at the same time. Doing her concert.
Really cool. Yeah. And kids have really learned they always knew more about technology than we'll ever know, but it really pushed them, I think, to go to other places as well.
Mm-hmm.
Are those Mero's lyrics that we were reading right now on the website? I'm a princess mighty and strong.
Yes.
I slayed the dragon, fought the enemy, got through my troubles, and I didn't need no man to save me.
Yeah.
Don't need no slimy frog, no poison apples. Nah, Cinderella had no choice. But you can find your own voice. We Can.
That's the first song she did with. Oh no, that's the second song. We Can. That's the second song she did with Girls Right Nashville. And then they go and perform it live. They have a record release party in a club.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
That got stifled during COVID, but they kept going. And it's amazing. And all the girls are like just magic with each other.
Yes.
And that's the thing about Nashville. I mean, the kids have thrived in everything that they do. There's theater companies, there's music things, lessons. It's been incredible.
That's amazing. Now, okay, so I love following your Facebook page. Bobby, do you have a website that we can follow or anything that if you have gigs coming up? I know you said. I don't, but I do play with the Love Drums, and we do some drum groups in the park. That's something I do. I got into African drumming about 10 years ago. And wow.
So I've been doing a lot of that. And then I play percussion in a church band, which I kind of fell into. That's another God thing that happened.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, so you're in Nashville. God, things are going to happen.
Well, me getting here. Hey, listen, me getting here was a God thing. So yeah. There it is.
Oh, there it is. The Love Drums.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
And we I've done some music therapy stuff with Ed too. So it's like the years have gone by, and it's been a creative path and endeavor for me and my kids. So Justine married just
yeah, Justine married says Dad of the Year, Bobby Kent Dad of the Year.
I don't know about that, but someone you ask my kids, but yeah.
So and Christopher Crosby, I want to go back to because he did write something. I want to acknowledge it. Christopher said, "So lucky to be in this country where we can access the vaccine so quickly. Even in the UK, it's 12 weeks apart from the first to second." Wow, Christopher! Wow. I think Christopher is Scottish, if I'm not mistaken. That is mind blowing. So we are very lucky to be in the US of A. and getting our vaccines on time. Thank you, Christopher, for reminding us of that. Now, I want to bring Willie back. I know you and Willie are buddies. So, Leo, with your permission, there he is. Oh, my God. How did I get two drummers in the same room?
I don't know, but how did we get all gray is what I want.
I don't know. I got this whole Puerto Rican Papa Hemingway thing going on.
You were like 15 when I met you or something.
I know, man. I'm so happy to see you.
Good to see you, brother.
And so, and I, it brings a lot of joy to me to follow your goings on with your kids and everything. I'm just totally blown away. I can't love it enough.
Now, Willie, I love that story that Bobby told about the drums that you built.
Mm-hmm.
That was the last thing that you got before you left the city. I mean, that's really cool. So you also, Willie, you work for a drum shop, right?
I've been building and repairing drums for almost 35 years. I started with Joe Casadas at the Modern Drum Shop, and Tony was one of my mentors. I was an apprentice of his and Tom Byers. And Tom Byer came from Ippolito's drum shop, which was like the center of the universe for drummers. Wow. So I'm very proud to come from a lineage of repairmen. And then now I'm at a place called Steve Maxwell's in Manhattan. It's the only, back in the day, Bobby will tell you, there were at least a half a dozen drum shops.
Mhm.
And now Maxwell's is the only standalone drum shop left in New York City.
Wow.
Yeah.
And nobody else doing drum repairs in New York City except for us. So I'm real proud of that.
Come on down and work here. We have a few down here that are just awesome.
Do you know, actually, Steve Maxwell owns Drum Fork now.
Okay. Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, so and that's in Nashville.
Mhm.
Wow.
Maybe I will go down there and work over there.
Yes, listen, sometimes, there's shifts that happen with musicians. And then, it's like, and that's what I love about music. Like, you go where the music is, and then, but I remember all those shops, remember on 47th Street, Willie?
48.
46 and 48.
Yeah, 48. Yeah.
48
Oh,
was
gosh.
major.
Streets after streets of musical instrument shops. And now a lot of them are gone, right?
They're all gone.
Sam Ash is the only one, but it's on 42nd Street.
They're on 34th.
34th,
Oh,
right. Thank you. And then the Guitar Center, which
They tore down Manny's, for crying out loud.
can you believe it?
No, I wanted what they did with all the pictures.
That's everybody I talk to says the same thing. What happened to the pictures?
Family members got them in a box somewhere. There was tons of them.
I used to love Manny's. I got a set of cluster drums there that I love. Just little cluster drums, and they're so fun. And all my little percussion instruments. But
I was wondering what happened to the sign, because I heard the sign was going to go to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, but I don't know if that ever came to fruition.
That would be great.
Yeah, because that was an iconic sign.
I know they got receipts of like Jimi Hendrix buying stuff. So.
I'm sure
Yeah.
they got to go into. It's got to go into some kind of museum somewhere, right?
Yeah.
You would think.
All that stuff. That was owned by one family, I think, for years and years and years, wasn't it?
Joe Casadas told me a story about that. He told me that that they were located originally in another place where the Rockefellers wanted to build. So the Rockefeller himself told Manny, I'll give you another spot on 48th Street and you can have a 100-year lease.
Wow.
And that's how they wound up on 48th Street. And I don't know that they outlived the 100-year lease, but they could have been there potentially for 100 years.
Wow. That's
close.
a great story.
Yeah, it was close. They were there a long time.
That's a great. Yeah, that was one of my favorite places to go into.
Yeah, it's such a vibe.
And go up the stairs and see what was in the other rooms. It was really cool. Now,
I knew Sam Ash out in Long Island. That's my first store.
Mm-hmm.
Sam Ash in Hempstead.
well, they have one in Jersey too. I love Sam Ash too. I go out there. I mean, I've been to Sam Ash just many times, and I get different things. Now, before I forget though, Willie, I do want to talk about your kids too. They're both graduated now?
No, my son just started. He's 18. He's going to SUNY Albany. And he started playing piano when he was 6. He still plays. I didn't push either of my kids into music as a career. I wanted them to have music in their lives because I think it's important to have to have music in your life. And they both. My daughter Jalen is 22, and was supposed to graduate this month, but she took some time off because she wasn't having a good experience with the whole remote thing.
It's not a good experience.
My son embraced it and did well. He's a little younger and he's a gamer, so I think that might be the one of the things that gave him the ability to thrive in it. But my daughter had struggled with it, so she took some time off. She'll graduate soon enough, though. Oh
yeah, and the thing about that is that people do it in their own time and organically, but there's like the school of life is out there, is still happening. Life is still happening, and you're in it, and as a creative person, and you're taking in everything around you. Mm-hmm. So that never goes away. I really believe in like furthering your education when it's time. Wasted so much time had I gone straight into things right out of high school. I'm glad I waited. Glad I got my life experience, and then I went back and took classes.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I do have to take a second because I have to do the food section of our show. I wish you were both. Willie's had my food. Willie's been in the audience. I mean, in the studio.
I'm coming.
I know. Listen, when you come to town, you let me know. I will cook for you. And actually, I'll invite Willie as well, and we will all hang out at my apartment.
That would be amazing. Good. Maria, can I give a quick shout out to somebody?
Of course.
I want to give a shout out to my good friend Kathy Lord. Kathy Lord is the founder of a nonprofit organization called Music That Heals. And pre-pandemic, there's about 160 musicians in the Music That Heals family. And what Kathy does is she arranges for us to go to hospitals and hospices and deliver live performances to people.
Yes.
During the pandemic, she started transitioning that content to virtual. We now deliver those things virtually. I just did 2 videos for her on Saturday, and I just wanted to bring them up because they're such an amazing organization, and they're just what they do. You know, music does heal, and those experiences that I had with patients walking through hospices, and now I'm doing it virtually. It's really very rewarding stuff.
You know what, Willie? My friend Patrick Connolly, he's a piano player.
Mm-hmm.
He goes by Paddy, Paddy. He also does many things with them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so you may run into each other at some point, but he also was on the show maybe about 2 months ago and talked about this organization and how amazing it is. And my friend, as you know, our friend Lynn Portis,
yes,
is all our mutual friends. She does quite a bit of virtual playing for senior centers and hospice centers. So shout out to all of you folks that do this incredible work. Thank you.
Thanks for accommodating me with that.
Oh my God, yes. Listen, no, I'm glad that you brought it up. I just want to quickly do this, and then, there's always so much to talk about. We always run out of time. So what did I make tonight? Not to tempt you guys, but next time we're all together, I will cook. I love to cook, especially for guys.
You're a great cook.
Thank you. Well, as are you, Willie. Hey, you know what? Maybe what we'll do is I'll cook a bunch of food and come down to President Street some Sunday and listen to you. And then you can just heat up what I bring you. I'll bring you some food.
Man, I'll set up a table right out in front of the house.
You know what? I'm going to take you up on that, Willie. I'm going to come out some Sunday. I'll give you notice. I'll say, Willie, this is good. And because I can't wait. That's going to be a really fun thing to do.
That would be amazing.
So what did I make tonight? I love to make sauce, but now I love to create new recipes. So this is called my spicy sausage. Spicy Italian sausage in red sauce. So what I did
wait, move over, Willie. I gotta see this. Get over there.
This is hot Italian sausage that I fry it up, and I fry it up with all kinds of garlic and olive oil and like crushed red peppers, and then I throw it in the same sauce that I cook my meatballs in.
Oh.
So I flavor the sauce with meatballs, and I take the meatballs out, save the sauce, and then I throw the sausage that I've.
Look at that.
Look at that. So and it's on gemelli pasta. Gemelli in Italian means Gemini. It means twins. So it is Gemini season. Starting Friday, which is May 21st, which happens to be my birthday, it is Gemini season. So I thought it was appropriate to make this. If you guys were here, you'd be eating this tonight.
Oh, the dichotomy of the Gemini.
I know.
My dad is the 26th.
Oh, he is? Oh, that's great. How cool. And your dad was a cool guy, so I'm glad to be in good company. So what did I make for salad tonight? I made a salad of kale. I love a good salad. I always say that. Yeah. Kale, radicchio, pistachios, Persian cucumbers, a little cauliflower chopped up in there. I'm going to put a honey ginger vinegar in here and then avocado oil. So that should be delicious. And I promise, Willie, we're going to make it happen. I'm going to bring food down to your
Cannot wait. I cannot wait.
No, I will do it. I promise. I don't break a promise. And this is, I got these at Trader Joe's, which I love. These are citrus mousse bites. So how cute are those? We'll have those for spring.
Those are lovely.
Hey, Bobby, you're from Brooklyn too, right?
Well, not originally. I'm from Long Island, but I lived in Park Slope in the 70s.
Oh, wow.
And I lived above an Italian restaurant who was this guy who owned the building and didn't speak a word of English. And then I lived across from Pierre's Falafel and down the block from Pino's Pizza and next door to the Gazebo, which was the first health food restaurant on 7th Avenue in Park Slope. That's why I don't know how to cook, because I went out, I ate there. One of those places every night. But
Yeah, Brooklyn is famous for good food. Famous for it.
My apartment smelled like garlic 24/7.
Well, listen, I'm sure my neighbors, sometimes I apologize to them because I cook
Don't.
a lot. I get a lot. And hold on, let me just, okay.
My house smells like burned toast most of the time.
I don't know if that's you. I don't know if that's good, Bobby.
It's terrible. No.
Now, what I was going to say is, I know that this year changed a lot for all of us.
Mm-hmm.
And as we're coming towards the end of our show, we have about maybe 6 minutes left. As musicians, as people, what did this year, if you had to recap and somebody would say, how did that change you as a creative person? How did it alter your life in a good or bad way this year? Willie, why don't you go first? I
think the most important and positive thing that I can reflect on is growth. I had to do I got deeper into recording myself on Logic for projects and for the videos that I did for Music That Heal. I grew as not only as a drummer but as a musician, and then also curating the series. I've always been a leader. I've been a leader for a long time, but it just took that to a whole nother level, and just the being able to get other musicians. Bringing other musicians into the picture and stuff like that. It was really humbling to make that happen for them. So yeah, growth was a big thing for me, both in other skill sets and also just basically extending skill sets that I already had.
Wow, and you're going to continue to do that?
Yeah.
Stay with it. Wow.
Yeah.
And I can't tell you how many of my friends whose parents are in these facilities. Mm-hmm. Said that they looked forward to this more than anything. It was their connection to something that made them happy. And Patty, who's our friend, you will meet him because I'm sure you'll run into each other. He said that he was doing a particular program, and most of the patients were Alzheimer's patients, and he was afraid that they weren't going to know any of the songs. And he said he was so wrong because they didn't remember from day to day certain things, but they remembered all the lyrics to all the songs.
Yep.
And he said it blew his mind.
Yep.
And that's what convinced him to stay with it, because he just was. So we the power of music is incredible, and how we can be part of that is just like mind blowing. So again, the name of the organization, Willie, is
Music That Heals. And if I could share one experience that I had with them in a lobby at Perlmutter Cancer Institute. I was playing in the lobby, and this guy comes up to me. He comes out of the elevator, and first he was sitting down there with me, and then he went upstairs, and then he came back down, and he said, "I just got some amazingly positive news from my doctor, and for the rest of my life, I'm going to associate your music with the news he just gave me."
Oh my God!
And my kids will tell you that I can see a puppy on a commercial and I'll start crying, and so I burst out in tears when he told me that.
Of course.
I was like, that I'll always carry that memory. That you could touch somebody just by, you have no idea who you're touching when you make music, and that's just it's just a tribute to what Music That Heals does, just providing that service.
Absolutely. Wow, that was beautiful, Willie. Thank you. Yeah, that gave me chills. You don't know how to touch people. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. Bobby, well, how would you say that it changed you or affected you, or, what came out of this year for you as a musician? Go ahead.
Other than the fear of everybody getting sick, and I did, it was actually, there were a lot of positive things that happened. I was able to work from home in my other career, but I got closer with my children. I was homeschooling them, particularly Bella, because of her special needs. We split it up with their mom and me. And so they were at my house part of the week, and then at mom's house part of the week, Winnie's house. And so I was able to see how they learned. And Meryl was kind of doing her own thing. We just had to make sure she was doing it, which she was. And then Bella, I got to be on Zoom with her in her classroom, because they were doing like hybrid, but she was staying home. So I actually got closer with my kids, and also musically I got closer with them because we concentrated more on their practicing. And like I said, Mero would go up and write a screenplay, but then she'll go up and write 3 songs in an hour, you know?
Wow.
She'll come downstairs and she'll say, I'm stuck on the chorus. And go, wait a minute, I got it. And then she go, the stairs right behind me. They live upstairs. There's a whole upstairs that they don't, you know, they're up there. And so there was that. I drove a lot less, which kept me sane because I drove 5,000 miles less last year than I did the year before. So that showed you how much driving I do, just going in circles. But scholastically, you know, academically and musically, they blossom. And, you know, thank God we got through it. And now we're almost all vaccinated. Mero's got one more vaccine because she was 13, so she kind of went last.
Oh, right. That's true. I forgot about that.
But we're good. We're good, and we grew closer as a family. And you know that I can't think of really. You know, it was all, you know, it wasn't all good, but it was we more than survived. It is
quite amazing. It's true. You know, like looking back now that we're in the clear, in that most of us are in the clear, in that place where we're like, okay, wow. It's like the ghost kind of just like passed through. It's the craziest, creepiest year in that way. And yet it's such an important year that happened in all our lives. I don't think we'll ever forget it. You know, that story Willie told is just amazing. Like that experience may not have happened, you know, had we not been in COVID. Like I know that myself and a lot of our friends, we wrote more. You know, I was so frightened. I started a women's writers group just to keep me company. You know, like all my friends from across the country, like, hey, you guys want to meet on Wednesdays and just write some stuff and talk about what happened? And it really worked. Lynn Portis was in that group, you know. And so I just feel really lucky. I feel really lucky to be doing what we're doing, to have had all the feels that came out of it, the fear, all of it. And now it's recorded in time, you know. And I also want to say, I know next month is Father's Day. I want to wish you both a great Father's Day. Thank you for being such great dads. The most valuable work you'll ever do is being a parent. I am not a parent, so I know I watch my friends and raise their kids, and I know that I don't think I could do it. And I mean, I'm a great teacher, but I don't think I could. You know, that's just amazing work that you guys do. So I wanted to thank you for that. And let's thank Leo Rodriguez. He is incredible.
Where is he?
He's around. Leo Rodriguez.
He's eating.
Nobody's better than Leo. He's made our show brought it to this incredible level. And I want to thank you, Leo. You're incredible. He's in Idlewild, California. Willie Martinez is in Brooklyn, New York. Bobby Kent is in Nashville. Armed Radio, which is our mothership, is
you're a national show.
Yes, you're a national show. Well, Armed Radio, armeddigitalmedia.com, armedradioglobal.com. Go and listen to them. Usually we're on that, but we're going to be in podcast in about 12 hours on Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Thank you, gentlemen. God bless you. Happy Father's Day. And let's just keep playing music.
Absolutely.
Good to see you, Bobby.
Good to see you, Willie. I'll see you on Facebook.
Take care. Thanks for everything, Maria.
Thank you,
Maria. Thank you, Leo.
So much. Thank you, Leo.